So, all right, let's get into it. Okay, the objective is referrals. And why referrals? Why would we focus on referrals? Interestingly enough, now, this topic on referrals is, you guys have turned up to a training which I think is far more valuable than many of the other topics that we cover. And I think they're all valuable, but some are more valuable than others. And getting referrals is massively important. So, hats off to you guys for turning up to this one, because last week we did handling fee objections, right? Which is a hot topic. We had a lot of people here. But when you compare fee objections, if I could get some scripts to handle fee objections, 20% better or 50% better, that's good. But if I could double my referrals or triple my referrals, that's a lot better, right? There's so much leverage in getting referrals. So this is a really important topic. I'm going to cover two strategies. I'm going to give you two sort of scripts for two strategies for getting referrals. And if you deploy them, you'll do well. All right. Now, John Napier from London. Good. John's a client as well. He's a member as well. All right. Let's get into it. Share screen. Okay. I've got a bit of a mind map. I like mind maps. Right. Now, first question I've got for you. In fact, no, before I start that is, why is referrals so important? Right. And there should be another one here actually. And that is, why is referrals so important? So I want you to type into the chat window, what percentage of your business comes from referrals at the moment? Okay. Referrals or word of mouth, same thing. What percentage of your business comes from referrals or word of mouth? And I know there's a bit of a delay, but what percentage of your business comes from referrals or word of mouth? And I think you'll be interested. Right. Facebook user. We don't get a name sometimes, but some of the Facebook users says 90%. Okay. Paul says 90%. Another Facebook user says 90%. Richard Alexander, 100%. Umberto says 50%. Anthony says, another 6 member, says, where's it gone? 100% for Anthony. Emma says 100%. Jim says 100%. Deborah says 90%. Now, it's phenomenal, isn't it? Now, this is good and bad, right? Deborah says 90. Another Facebook user says 80. Heather says 20. Okay, interesting. You're a bit of an outlier, Heather. Sarag says 90. Interesting. Where does yours come from, Heather? If it's not from referrals, you must do a lot of marketing. Now, my point is, when it comes to winning new clients, or new projects, the irony is that referrals is your number one marketing strategy as of now, which is good. The problem for most of you is, yeah, it's good, but I'm still not earning the income I want to be earning, and I'm not winning the projects I want to be winning, which is why I'm on this webinar. So, okay, cool. That's interesting as well. So how good are you as an architect? Well, I'm 7 out of 10 as an architect in terms of my abilities. How good are your projects? Well, a lot of people say 4 or 5, right? Given I'm a 7 out of 10 architect, I think they're below what I could be doing. And what about your income? Where's your income? 4 or 5, a lot of people are. Okay, well, if you're a 7 out of 10 architect, shouldn't you be getting 7 out of 10 fees? Yes, I should be, and 7 out of 10 projects at least. Okay. Now, so we know referrals works. My strategy is, and when we're, all these, anyone that comes into our 6 maps program, the first thing I say is put in place referral strategies, because if you can double or triple or quadruple your referrals, which seems to be about 90% of your projects, if you could triple that, then you wouldn't need to do any other form of marketing, right? That's all you'd need to do. You'd have more clients calling you than you could actually handle. You could probably handle 50% more business, right? But you couldn't handle 300% more business. So Now you've got twice as many people calling out wanting to work with you than you could handle, and they're all referrals, right? So you would have to either do one or two things. You would have to either form a waiting list, or you would have to start saying no to half the projects which aren't a good fit for you, right? And maybe a combination of the two would be the best, right? So most people don't think of referrals as marketing, but it becomes marketing when you have referral systems, right? When you're just passively answering the phone and, oh, good news, another referral came through. No, that's not marketing. But when you're putting in place referral systems, that is marketing. And so of all the things you could do in marketing, the smartest thing, I think, the 80-20, the Pareto principle of marketing, if you're an architect, is referral systems, right? And I'm going to give you two today. So that said, right? So why referrals? It's the best. Now, why is it the best? Why are referrals so much better than anything else? I'll tell you a quick story. Imagine you're at a family picnic and you've got a really bad back. And one of the other family members at the picnic is Uncle Ted. And you see Uncle Ted, and Uncle Ted seems to be holding his back as well. And he goes, you go, what's wrong? What's wrong, Uncle Ted? He said, I've got a bad back. And you go, I've got a bad back too. And you both enter a little 5-minute competition as to who's got the worst bad back. And anyway, the kids go out and start playing football on the grass, and neither you nor Uncle Ted can go and play because of your bad backs. Anyway, as it happens, there's also another family picnic the following weekend, and you both turn up, except this time you've still got a bad back, but Uncle Ted doesn't. Uncle Ted runs in and says, hey, how's it going? You want to play some football? And you go, no, I've still got a bad back. So Uncle Ted goes out and plays football. When Uncle Ted comes off, what's the first question you ask Uncle Ted? Uncle Ted, what's happened to you? I thought you had a bad back. And Uncle Ted says, yeah, I don't anymore. And you go, what did you do? What happened? He said, well, I went and saw this guy. He was an acupuncturist, and he went boom, boom, boom with his needles, and I'm fine. He said, within a couple of days, it was unbelievable. I'm standing upright for the first time, and it's, I'm playing football, no problem at all, right? And so, what's your next question, right? The next thing you're going to say is, what's his number, right? And you're going to call the acupuncturist, and you're going to ask to book a meeting with the acupuncturist. Now, how much selling does the acupuncturist need to do to get you in there? None, right? Are you going to ask the acupuncturist for a discount? No, because the value of the result is so high to you that whatever he charges is probably going to be okay, right? And how long is it going to take? Is he going to have to convince you? There's no selling required, right? It's done. That's why referrals are so good, right? Now, we know they close faster. We know they're more, referrals are more believable to people than you doing marketing. But the question is, right, now this is the sticky thing, why don't you get more referrals? And this is the thing I get all the time. Do you get enough referrals? No, I don't. Why? Do you do a good job? Yes, I do. Are your clients happy? Yes, they are. I just don't know why they don't refer me more. Okay, so let's have a quick look at some of the reasons that people don't refer you more. I don't want to give away all the, I'd like to hold something back and make a little bit of intrigue. Right. Number one, maybe they're not happy. Maybe they're not happy with the work or the relationship. But in my experience, that's usually not, it's potentially the case, but it's not very often. It's these other ones. All right. Lack of a prompt. Now, what's that? Well, lack of a prompt is, and this is what advertisers try and set up. They try and set up prompts in your pre-existing environment so that you think about their product or the need for their product. A prompt would be, well, there's a Kit Kat. I don't know if you guys have Kit Kats in the US, but I know the UK and the other guys do. But there's an ad on TV that goes, have a break, have a Kit Kat. And they pump that slogan for like 30 years, have a break. So what they're trying to do is create an association between every time you have a break at work that you should be having a Kit Kat, right? And it's quite effective, have a break, have a Kit Kat. And so they've linked Kit Kats to breaks because people will put them in their lunchbox, right? So they've made a connection between something. Now, if you don't have a reason for someone to talk about you, then there's no one's talking about you, right? Now, a prompt is a situation that triggers an opportunity for them to have a referral, because the truth is most of the time they're not thinking about you, right? Now, I guess if we're talking construction here, there probably would be a lot of prompts because they're going to talk about their house or their office that they're building. But it's something worth considering, right? The next reason people don't refer: unclear expectations, right? What specific actions or behaviors would qualify as a referral for you? They don't really know. They don't know what sort of projects you're looking for, right? They don't know how to qualify someone who'd be good for you. And so if I'm not sure, and bear in mind, I'm busy, right? So that may be a reason. Fear of rejection. I don't want to refer someone and then it comes back on me and says, hey, you referred so and so, and that's another reason they might not. Another reason might be lack of perceived value. What's in it for me if I refer this person, right? Not much, right? There's no benefit. Okay, so we need to keep that in mind, and maybe false beliefs, and I remember with my accountant, someone asked me, why don't you refer your accountant? And I go, well, I never really thought of it, right? The lack of a prompt. There's no reason for me to talk about my accountant and particularly say you should use my accountant. There was no reason for that. Nothing ever came up. So, but you often think someone is too busy or that you're not their type, this person who should be introduced. So I firmly believe that for let's say every one referral that ends up coming to you, there's another 9 that could have come to you if that person was armed properly, right? So we want to, if that so those are some reasons why people don't refer. Okay. Now, just quickly, and I'm going to give you these referral strategies I'm going to give you don't take long to give you, and they're pretty simple. They're just scripts. And in fact, if you type in PDF now, Eric will send them to you. And I'll go through them in a minute as well. They're worth going through, but I just want to sort of motivate you to use them because you can get the PDF and you go, oh yeah, that's great. But, and then do nothing for it. I want to motivate you enough to want to use them because the execution of the 2 strategies I'm going to give you is very simple. The key is that you do it. Okay, let's have a quick look at the math. I talk about a thing called a referral rate. What's the referral rate, right? Now, if something is a 1, there's a 1 missing here, but if something's a 1-to-1 referral rate, what that means is if I've got a client, then that client refers a client, and that client refers a client, and that client, and it goes on forever. So if I had 3 clients now, and they all referred one person, and then they would replace themselves with another, I could go on forever, and it's okay. I'd always have 3 clients. That would be a 1-to-1 referral rate. The problem with referrals, one problem, there's not many problems with referrals, is that people tend to only refer across and down. And what that means is if I work for a bank and I have had you design my house, I'm unlikely to refer you to my boss or my boss's boss because they're above me and it might be too risky, right? But I'll refer you to a colleague or someone below me, right? So we tend to refer across or down in terms of social structure, right? I'm not going to refer you to the billionaire down the road because I don't feel comfortable referring the billionaire to anyone, right? But the guy that works for me, the guy who's doing my lawns, who wants to do his house, I don't mind referring him. So yeah, people refer across and down. Now that would be 1-to-1, and 1-to-1's okay, but it's not going to make a booming career. If you had 2 referrals to every client that came on board, and when you think about it, shouldn't that be reasonable that for every project you do, the amount of people they talk to and the amount of people that ask them questions about the project, that 2 projects would come from it. Well, it seems it's not reasonable because very few people get 2 referrals per, but then they don't have referral systems in place, right? But the math would look like this, right? It's ridiculous. So if you had three clients, and then they referred 2 people, and then those people referred 2 people, and then it starts getting it grows exponentially, right? So all you need to actually have a ridiculous business that gets out of control and that you can't even handle would be 2 referrals per project, right? And it's not a bad goal. And when you think about it, it's what should be happening. Okay. Right. Okay. How? Right. There are 16 different referral strategies that I teach our members, and I'm going to give you a couple now. So let's get into it.